Welcome to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 159. Today's date, June 18th. And let's get started with our tip-off topics with OKC looking to close it out. Oklahoma City Thunder win game number 5, 120-109, covering as a favorite. It was about 8.5 or so of the spread with Oklahoma City Thunder covering. And it was kind of an interesting game. Oklahoma City got out to a 10-point lead, up by 15 at the break, up by about 17-18 in the third quarter, and then a huge comeback by the Indiana Pacers in the third to the fourth quarter, got it within a 2-point game, and then obviously Oklahoma City goes on a big run. It's really a lot interesting if you kind of look at the stats here. You know, Indiana outshot them from overall, right? They only made 2 less free throws. They won the rebounding battle by 5. But it was the amount of turnovers that Indiana had. I think it was 22, if I'm not mistaken. And the timely turnovers that really made a huge difference. Jalen Williams, what can you say? 40 points was fantastic. Got a lot of his baskets on dunks, transition early in the game, kind of got him going. Then he was able to get to the to score, going to the basket. And this is why I kind of talked to people about why Jalen Williams and SJ were matchup problems, primarily for the fact of their size and how big they are. It's hard for them to defend. And with Mark Daigneault going back to his double big lineup of Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein and force Siakam to take Holmgren and then Turner to go to Hartenstein, which then means someone's got a matchup nightmare in the backcourt between SGA, Jalen, and Williams. Shout out to Lou Dort, 3+ made threes. We'll talk a little bit about Lou Dort when we get into our scouting report. But a big story coming out of the game was the fact that Tyrese Haliburton was awful. No field goals, I should say. Really did not look good in his 30-some-odd minutes. But then it came out that he suffered a pulled calf. Went to get an MRI. And obviously we expect Tyrese to play in Game 6. Tyrese already basically said in so many words, if I'm walking, I'm playing. But it set up really interesting dynamic that Rick Carlisle had in game number 5 is the fact that, you know, TJ McConnell scored 13 points in the third quarter, was hotter than fish grease. That guy was saying, these dudes can't guard me. And they put him to the bench. It kind of sets up an interesting dynamic of what do you do when your superstar is not playing well. Think about game number 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Tom Thibodeau sat Jalen Brunson. Remember, folks, he sat him for a long time until the end of the game when Brunson got right. So what could he have done? Could he have played TJ McConnell? Yes. But why is Brian Nembhard, I think it's maybe the older one, but why is Nembhard getting like no smoke? He was terrible. Throwing the ball all around the gym. Costly turnovers in the fourth quarter. Can't stop anybody. I mean, to me, if you need a little bit of offense, maybe if you stay with Haliburton, go get someone like a Benedict Mathurin who's had spots in this series where he's scored big points. Interesting develops coming out of Indiana where they will look to avoid elimination Thursday. We will get into game number 6 in our scouting report. Let's head to the W. We'll first talk about the game in which the Indiana Fever won 88-71 over the Connecticut Sun, not covering. I think the line was maybe 18.5. Only an 8-point game at the break. Opened it up in the second half. Caitlin Clark, 20 points. What can you say? You know, Connecticut is just not a good team. Well, let's be honest. But that's not the story that everyone's talking about. It's what happened during the game. Interesting play developed. High ball screen for Caitlin Clark. J.C. Shelton goes up a little bit high, hits her in the face, definitely a flagrant. As Caitlin Clark gets up, turns and looks, it's a little bit of a meet-up. You can argue who led in the bump between J.C. Shelton and Caitlin Clark. But then here comes Marina Mayberry defending her teammate. And whether you call it a cheap shot or off balance, Caitlin Clark goes to the floor, and here comes the dust-up. Now, what's interesting about it is not just happened there, right? Obviously, J.C. Shelton sets a flagrant foul, correct. I think there was technical fouls called on I want to say Marina Mabrey, Caitlin Clark, and I think Tina Charles got in there too because she was waving a finger in Caitlin Clark's face. But that was what came after that. 50 seconds left, 19-point game. J.C. Sheldon gets a fast break layup, and Sophie Cunningham comes from behind and fouls the you-know-what out of her. And people are sitting there saying, what a way to defend Caitlin Clark. I am all for protecting your best player, but not at this expense. To foul this kid, J.C. Sheldon, which, listen, you could say the play was clean or dirty on Caitlin Clark than she did. To foul someone on a fast break layup, someone could have gotten hurt. Seriously hurt. If you want to do your flesh and blood, Sophie Cunningham, I got you. I agree. You got to protect your star player. You know what you tell Stephanie White? Stephanie, run 5, just keep running her off screens. And when I get a screen, I'm cleaning her clock. I'm gonna get her back on a screen. And that's my problem with a lot of this. It's the refereeing. This is the golden goose. I get it. I agree with it 1,000%. But the referees have to do a better job of officiating these games, especially with Caitlin, because they know it's going to be extremely physical. It's going to get chippy. I would have no problem. And listen, if you want to say that Marina should have got thrown out, I'm a Jersey guy. I know the family very well. It's going to be hard for me to argue that she should have, because I don't think she should have. But, you know, you got to do things right, the referee, to get it under control. This has been a pattern of behavior for 2 years. But that doesn't mean that Sophie Cunningham should turn around and take someone out on a fast break layup. Get your retribution back when it matters. And you know what? Get your retribution back when they're looking you eye to eye. I know she's got 500,000 more followers on Instagram. I don't give a damn. And it was a dirty play at the end of the game. She should have got thrown out. And if Stephanie White had any bones, she would have found a way to get after these ladies, Sophie Cunningham and others, getting back at J.C. Sheldon during the game, earlier in the game. And the funny thing is Marina Mabrey was in the mix. They did it when Marina wasn't even on the floor. Let's get to another game in the WNBA. It was a big one. It was an 86-81 win by the New York Liberty. Atlanta Dream covering as the underdog. They were up by 17 points in the third quarter, and there was 2 people who really stepped up. I mean, 3 if you count Stewie, but first things first. I mean, Lord have mercy, Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, 34 points, 3 steals, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 12 of 20 from the floor, 4 of 8 from the floor, from the 3. People need to understand how good Sab is. Sab is one of the 10 best, 8 best players in the world, and when she gets hot, she's hotter than fish grease. But the key player in that win was Jonquel Jones. All 10 points in the second half, double-double, which anytime you get in there even money, you should take. I'm going to repeat something that someone was said to me earlier, okay? If Jonquel Jones was playing for the Liberty on Saturday, they don't lose to Indiana. And I'll tell you this much. I know that Stewie may be the best player. I know Sab may be the most exciting player. But the most important player for the Liberty is Jonquel Jones. And go ask anybody in the WNBA. Coming up next, we'll get into our award tour. We'll look at the win totals for the New York Liberty if they can go over 35.5. Seattle Storm over 25.5. Golden State 5-6. Just got to win. We'll be back with our award tour after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 159, and it's time to get into our award tour where we look at future markets in the WNBA. And we'll do strictly win totals, and let's start with the team at the top of the table. New York Liberty sitting right now at 10-1, have a win total right now of 35.5. Before the season started, the Liberty were at 32.5 wins. So when you start to dig in deeper with the Liberty have the 8th toughest schedule in the WNBA, or if you want to go reverse, the 6th easiest schedule. So based off of getting 36 wins, that means the Liberty have to get 26 more wins. They have 33 games left to go. Okay? 3 versus Dallas, 3 versus Connecticut, 2 versus Chicago, 3 versus LA, 2 versus Washington, 2 versus the Valkyries. I would be stunned if the Liberty lost more than 1 game out of that. So that's 3, 6, 9, 11, 14, 17 games left with those teams. They should get 16 wins out of that. So right now I've just put them at 26 wins. So when you look at the remaining 17 games, they have 4 versus the Lynx, 4 versus the Mercury, 3 versus Atlanta, 3 versus Seattle, and 2 versus Indiana. Okay? If the Liberty find a way to win 16 games, they only have to go 10-7 versus top half of the league. That is something that I think they should be able to do. 36 wins is a huge number in the WNBA if they stay healthy. If, Sab gives you the games that she did last night. If Stewie continues to play like a top 5 player in the world. If Jonquel Jones get healthy. Now, Leona Febic has to get healthy because she's been missing the last couple of games, and it's forced him to change her lineup. Naira Sabley's been really good off the bench. Maureen Johannes is working her way back after missing last year. New York Liberty should finish just north of 35.5. I'm going to say 36 wins because they're going to be playing for the overall 1 seed probably right now with the Minnesota Lynx. Let's head to Seattle, which is such an intriguing team. Their win total is at 25.5. They have 7 wins left, 7 wins so far this season. So that means that they would have to win, I believe that's 17 games to go over 25.5. So when you look at that schedule, I'm sorry, 17, 26, 19 wins. Sorry, my math is a little bit off. 19 wins out of 32 games. Folks, this isn't over. They have the 2nd easiest schedule left in the WNBA. Right? They've already played the Lynx twice, so knock that out of the way. 2 versus Dallas should be wins. 4 versus Connecticut, that's 6. 3 versus Chicago, 9. 3 versus LA, that's 12. And then 3 more versus the Mystics and the Valkyries. That's 18 wins. If they win all 18, they're at 25. Now, they're not going to win all 18 of them. Let's be brutally honest. Can they win 13 of them? 14 of them? 2nd easiest schedule, toughest games, 2 Lynx, 3 Liberties, including Liberty have to go there, I think, next week. 1 Mercury, 3 Atlanta, 3 Indiana. I'm going over right now. I think I'm feeling kind of frisky here with Seattle, with the team, with Megaber, with Owumbeke, with Skylar Diggins, with Malanga, the young kid, with Gabby Williams. They should have enough to get over 25.5 wins. We're going to go over 25.5 with the with the Seattle Storm. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was pretty close to their number before the season. So if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the exact number. It was 25.5. Let's head to the Valkyries, who have been a really, really cool story so far, sitting at 5-6. And who can forget that beatdown that Kayla Thornton and crew gave the Vegas Aces 2 Saturdays ago. Folks, before the season, they had the lowest number. It's 8.5. Well, the books done messed that one up, so they already doubled it to 15.5. So this is where it gets interesting with Golden State. They have the 5th toughest schedule left. And they are a pain in the ass for teams. But when you have to see 3 Minnesota, 2 New York, 3 Phoenix, 3 Atlanta, 3 Indiana, 3 Seattle, that's 8, 11, 14, 17 games versus the top half of the league. What are they going to get? 3 of them? 4 if you're nice. Let's say they get 4. And they get the 9. Then they got 3 Chicago, 3 Connecticut, 3 Dallas, 1 LA, 3 Vegas, 3 versus the Mystics. So does that mean that they're going to go over or under this win total? It would be a great story for the WNBA if they go over this. If you just say they get 2 versus Dallas, let's say they just split it, right? 3, 6, 9, 10, 16. If they can get 8 wins out of the rest of that bottom half and get to 13, now they need 4 versus Indiana, Seattle, Atlanta, Phoenix, New York, and Minnesota. It's an intriguing case. It's an intriguing number, and I want to take the over. I just feel like that hook is where it gets me. I think Golden State Valkyries go under. So really quick, New York Liberty to go over their win total of 35.5. We're going to go over the 25.5 for the Seattle Storm, and we're going to go just under the 15.5 for the Golden State Valkyries. Coming up next after the commercial break, we'll get into our scouting report. We'll preview game number 6 of the NBA Finals as the Pacers look to stave off elimination and force a Game 7, and a couple of intriguing games in the WNBA, including Phoenix at New York. We'll be back with our scouting report after this commercial break. Welcome back to the Betting Above the Rim podcast, episode 159, and it's time to get into our scouting report as we preview games in the NBA and WNBA. And let's lead off in the NBA. Game number 6 of the NBA Finals. Lines have moved. It was 4 right after game number 5. As soon as it announced yesterday morning about Haliburton, it moved to 6.5. Over-under has dropped from 224 to 222.5. And here's what I'm going to say to you right off the bat. I think that if you like Indiana because of Haliburton's injury, you got to be looking under, plus the points. If you think Oklahoma City is going to win, I wouldn't be mad at you if you lay the points and then take the over, because I think Oklahoma City is going to try and run them out of the gym, especially the fact that Indiana just throws the ball all around the gym. But I want to present an interesting proposition to you. Both teams, especially Indiana, are known for going on wild swings. If you played this game right, and you listened to me with Adam Kaufman a couple of days ago on SportsGrid when Kevin Walsh was out, I said the best way to play this game is let one team get a lead, take it the other way, let it come back, get yourself a middle. And you could have got yourself a great middle with Indiana down by like 16, 17 points in the third quarter, and then went the other way with Oklahoma City, even on the money line when the game got within 2-3 points in the fourth. Why do I say that? Because my best bet's going to be to middle it and let the game start. Indiana's going to have to try and throw their punch and play with the lead. They're going to lean on that home crowd. Haliburton is going to lean on the emotion of just wanting to will his team. The dam is going to break, and Oklahoma City is going to win this game. But I think there's a way that you can get it and not pay so much with the -6.5. Folks, as a coach, when you get the 3 possession games, that concerns me of how to bet it. So my best play for you to do is to middle it. And I think one of my better bets will be Oklahoma City Thunder to go over their team total. Obviously, there'll be a scouting report tomorrow on the Sports Grid app. Let's get to some props really quick to look at. You know where I'm going. Lou Dort. Lou Dort over 7.5 points in game number 6 is one of my better bets. Lou Dort's gone over this in 4 out of the last 6 games. I still think at the end of the day, Rick Carlisle's going to say he's got to beat me. Look for Lou Dort to go over that prop. When you go to Miles Turner, I've just been running to the window with this. Miles Turner over 4.5 rebounds. Because of the double big lineup, the guy's got to get your 5 rebounds. So look for Miles Turner to go over 4.5 rebounds. Just thinking really quick, there's anyone else I really like? That's really it. Maybe look at someone like Chet Holmgren to have a bigger game. Only had 9 points. Maybe look at his points to go over. But the series should be closed out, obviously, on Thursday night. Let's get to the W. Really big matchup. Phoenix, New York. Phoenix is back healthy. Remember, Alyssa Thomas is back, and so is the walking bucket, a.k.a. y'all already know who I'm talking about, Kahleah Copper. So now that she's back, this will be an interesting game to watch as it is Thursday night matchup. Our predictor is saying that the Liberty win the game by 8 points. As of last note of me looking right now, there are no lines out for this game, so look for a scouting report for this tomorrow. But you know where I'm going. If it's less than 140, Jonquel Jones double-double. I just think that she's going to be able to have her way. I'll be curious to see what Kahleah Copper's points props are because she's working her way back. And you look at the defense of the Liberty, I know Natasha Cloud is a really good defender, but Kahleah Copper, I'll say my friend heard me say this. I'm going to say this again. Ready, folks? Well, you know I call her. She's a walking bucket. And I expect the walking bucket to go over a points prop just because it's not too high. Other matchup, interesting. Fever on the road versus the Valkyries. A pesky team. A team that plays pretty good defense. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but you got to like the Indiana Fever to find a way to win it on the road. This has been Betting Above the Rim Podcast, episode 159. For all things sports gambling, download that Sports Grid app. Pre-game, in-game, post-game, props, predictions, and more from the very best in the sports gambling industry. For my producer, Matty George, Vinny does a great job with the graphics. Thanks for listening, folks, and you know the deal. It's always smarter to be on Sports Grid. Good night.